What's up, guys? It's the Resell Brothers here, and fourth quarter starts today. Are you ready? So for this video, we're going to go over our 2024 fourth quarter to kind of figure out what sold. $150,000 in sales
on just eBay.
Just eBay. So we're going to go over what categories are selling the best for fourth quarters. We're going over suits and blazers. We're going over coats. We're going over sweatshirts and sweaters, and we're going over pants and jeans. Those were our top categories for 2024 Q4.
Top 4.
So now we're going to go through them with you so you know what to pick up for this year so you can dominate fourth quarter.
Before we get into the video, please like, comment, and subscribe on this video. We really appreciate it. It helps drive the algorithm and it helps support the channel so we can keep making these videos for you guys. First category is coats and jackets. This is from 2024. We're going to reflect back on 2024. Like he said, over $150,000 in sales during Q4 just on eBay. If you had Poshmark, I mean, we're probably pushing close to 200,000. But this is the first coat we have, and it is a Billy Reed pea coat. Now, we're not going to be able to zoom in on these a lot because they're so old that, like I said, they're from Q4 last year. So you get kind of a general idea by looking at these pictures. But this is a Billy Reed herringbone wool blend coat, and this sold for $220. These Billy Reed wool coats are excellent sellers, and this is even an absolutely terrible size, extra small. So, I mean, as far as size goes, it doesn't get any worse than this, and this thing still sold pretty much instantly for over $200. So be on the lookout for these Billy Reed coats. They're definitely out there, and they do command a pretty large premium.
All right, next. First, I just want to say why we haven't made a video in like 2 or 3 weeks. It's because my family grew a little bit bigger. I don't know if you can see that. That's our newest daughter. Very exciting.
Peyton.
Very baby Peyton.
Yeah.
Shout out to my wife. She did a great job, of course. And yeah, it's been a lot of sleep deprived evenings. Christian knows because
I'm
similar.
still not.
Yeah.
I'm still not sleeping.
Just want to throw that out there.
Shout out baby Scarlett
Shout
and
out.
Sammy, obviously. So should I say Sammy first? My wife.
Anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. So, pretty cool. Anyway, now we're going to more of almost like a combo. I always think these trench coats are kind of like almost a suit, blazer, also a coat kind of thing, fancier wear. But it's from Brooks Brothers, and overcoat, trench coat, things like that. That sold for $57. So these aren't going to sell for like well over $100. If you get one with a nice wool liner, that's really nice. That's removable. You might be able to get more out of it. This one's just pretty basic.
Or one that's made in Italy. Those sell for more.
Yeah, but this one was pretty basic. Still sold for, what I say, $57. So pretty good.
And you'll see kind of, we did sell quite a few trench coats last year. They seem to be something that people don't like doing because they're a little harder to photograph. They're longer, a little bulkier.
Also ship.
Yeah, a little more expensive to ship, and obviously a little harder to store. So keep all that in mind. If you don't like doing all that crap, then don't buy trench coats. But they do sell for a decent amount. Next is a women's item, actually. This is a North Face women's down jacket. We really like to pick up these women's North Face jackets when they're in good condition. The key word there was good condition. We don't like the ones with holes. A lot of times you'll find them with patches and stuff like that. And the hooded ones seem to do even better. They seem to sell a little faster for us. So this sold for $40. I'm honestly assuming there is some type of flaw considering it only sold for $40. But it is one of the items that we do pick up in the women's category. We like to pick up these North Face goose down jackets.
Digging up holes. Also,
speaking of goose down,
another goose down puffer, women's again, LL Bean. So you might think it's a little bit of a tier down, but this sold for more money, $46.36, and it sold $124. So this took a little bit while to sell. We bought it before. We bought it at the end of the winter time in 2024. So when we came back into the winter time, it sold very quickly, and yeah, sold for that $46. So goose down still seems to be king or queen in this case. For
yeah, it does it. Honestly, with the brand, if it's just a middle to lower tier mall brand and it's goose down, a lot of times we'll pick it up. If it's priced right, obviously everything has to be priced right. but that stuff does still seem to move, even like Lands End. Next is an Eddie Bauer. This is a men's nano puffer, and these are actually really good performers for us. I don't know if it's a First Ascent, so this isn't even like a First Ascent or a higher or a Trevex or a higher line. It's just like a lower tier Eddie Bauer goose down jacket. But it sold for $38, and it sold really quickly. It was listed $924, and I believe it sold 2024. So
well, that wouldn't have been fourth quarter. It would have been October.
Oh, you're right, October. So
Christians keep getting confused that the quarters are 3 months instead of 4 months.
I always add
we had this discussion before the video.
The numbers don't have a month added because Tony corrected me, as he so generously just did. But $38 for this.
That's for the video. That's for the people.
It's a decent sale for us. $38 on a jacket, and these goose down jackets, the nano ones especially, are really easy to deal with because they kind of compact. So
next was Abercrombie and Fitch. What is it? Y2K, kind of a puffer
put a little
jacket.
Country on the Fitch.
Yeah, this one. It was down. So yeah, the Abercrombie and the mall brands, if you want a down, they're almost always vintage, older style. They've gotten really far away from like leather and real down. They'll put like fake down in there and everything nowadays. So this one sold for $28.99. Not bad for Abercrombie. It might have had something a little bit wrong with it, like a little small hole, but $28.99 for Abercrombie, we'll take that all day.
Yeah, and the best thing you can find, or at least the best thing I can think of off the top of my head in Abercrombie, is the Adirondack, or is it Adirondack or Adirondack?
I think it's Adirondack.
However you say it, those jackets, like the ones with the fuzz and fur on, like the real heavy duty ones, those things seem to sell for quite a bit of money. Next is a Lands End down jacket. So kind of a reoccurring theme here. This sold for $33.25, so it didn't sell for a lot, but it is a jacket you can pick up, and you can pay, I mean, you could even pay like $10 for this, and you know it's going to sell for over $30, and it's going to sell within a decent amount of time. I think this one took a little while. Actually, though, listed in October, sold in October. So sold really quickly, and I think it's a plus size. Is it a plus size? Women's large. So I would stay away from the small sizes on those, but women's large would probably be the smallest size I would buy.
All right, this is a J. Crew wax jacket. So this one was a smaller size in women's, which doesn't typically perform very well for us. I believe this was new without tags, maybe new with tags, not 100% sure. Like I said, it was a long time ago, but it sold for around $70. I think it was 68 something.
69.60.
Oh, yeah, 69.60. Yeah, it's right there. So yeah, good sale. It took a little bit to sell, like I said, because it is a smaller size. But when something's that good a condition and we only paid around, I would say around $8 to $10 for it, that's not bad for us. We'll take that.
And as a general rule of thumb, these J. Crew wax jackets have performed pretty well for us over the years. I think every single one we've ever bought has sold. Next is a Banana Republic suede leather jacket. And Banana Republic leather jackets sell pretty much instantly for us. We've had really good luck with these. We've sold several other ones. We actually sold one this year for, I believe, around $100, and it had some flaws on it. It was new. It had new with tags, but it had like defects from being a store return. So it had some stuff wrong with it, and it still sold for $100 within a couple of days. So these Banana Republic leather jackets, you can pay up for these. They will sell quickly and for a decent amount of money. This sold for $95, and it sold pretty much right when it was listed in October, and sold in October.
Another LL Bean jacket that is also a women's. This one's not down though. It's just a wool, extra small, so not a great size. Did take a little bit to sell. Took about 9 or 10 months to sell, but something like this we didn't expect to sell quickly because it was such a small size, but we didn't have to pay a lot for it. So
if it's extra small, you can pretty much bet we paid like nothing for it.
So $53, not a bad sale. We'll take sitting on something for that we paid $5 to $8 for and selling it for 50 something. We have the space to be able to do that.
Next is a Guess men's leather jacket. There's not a lot of stuff in Guess that we pick up. I've heard it's coming back, so I mean maybe that'll change somewhere along the road here. But for now, Guess leather goods are items we do sometimes pick up. I think this took a little while to sell, if I remember correctly. It was purchased in February of 2024, and it took a while to sell. Maybe in October is when it sold.
So we were coming out of buying leather jackets season.
Yeah.
So that's probably why we got it at a good price.
Yeah, we didn't pay very much for it, and it did sell for $45.60.
Yeah.
So if I were you guys, I would feel comfortable picking up a Guess leather jacket. Now, does that mean Guess is a great brand? Not necessarily, but this particular case is a pretty decent.
People have asked us whether we will pick stuff up out of season and wait to list it or just list it right away. We just typically list it right away because you never know. We've sold a lot of shorts recently, even though obviously we're going out of shorts season. So you never know when something's going to sell, and then when the next season comes around, you can recreate that. If it does happen to sit, you can recreate it, and then you're ready to go while other people are still trying to buy stuff. So if you have the capital and space to be able to wait and hold something like that, you can get good deals on that kind of things. Especially clearance at the big box kind of clearance aisles, you can do that as well.
And another reason this video is it's good to look back on 2024, because when you're pulling the sell-through rate on these items, they're not necessarily going to reflect how good the items are because we've been in warmer months.
They go back 90 days.
So it's good to reflect back on when it was colder weather last year so you can get a good idea of what's going to happen this year, because a lot of times this stuff will repeat.
This is a vintage Eddie Bauer. So funny thing, we just bought another one of these in a different color. It sold for $100. This one sold for $80. More of just a traditional black, so it didn't sell for as much. But these sell really well and they sell quickly, like between 80 and, I know it's a wide range, but I've seen some sell for 150 as well if they're more of a cooler style than just like the plain black, like traditional. But this one sold for 80. We got another one that sold for 100. I mean, not a hard call to pick that one up.
Yeah, and a lot of times thrift stores won't mark Eddie Bauer up because it is a lower tier brand. Obviously, their leather jackets are like the very upper end of their brand, but it's definitely considered a lower tier in my eyes. Next is a Banana Republic men's jacket. You'll see kind of a trend here, a lot of mall brands, and we actually get pretty good money for these mall brands. Jackets, we love jacket season. This stuff sells always really well for us. $50 on this. It's a kind of like a barn chore coat style. I would even make maybe a blanket line, a little military action. But definitely a pretty good sale there for $50.
A Land's End, new with tag. So let's see, 600 fill is a pretty high fill. That just refers to the down. And sold for $95. So don't sleep on Land's End down stuff.
And it's pretty prevalent.
Yeah.
Especially in our area, we find Land's End all the time.
Yeah. So, but I wouldn't, for a new with tag, you can pay a little bit more for. If it's just a used puffer, I would probably not pay very much for it because it's going to sell in right around that $30 range. But yeah, if it's new, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, this was a parka too, so that's another reason it sold for more. It's a little bit of
it's not a vest or
a longer one. Next is another J. Crew women's wool jacket. This one is a newer style. The other one was, did I say Land's End?
I think you said J. Crew.
Okay, I feel like for some reason my brain said I said Land's End. Anyway, it's a J. Crew women's jacket. This is a newer style, and it's a bigger size. So the size really matters with these. You're going to get a lot more money for bigger sizes. It's not a huge size, but
he's talking about compared to like a size 0 or
small.
2.
We did one
4.
that was an extra small. Yeah.
10's more of a normal.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people will wear that size.
Yeah, it's really easy to find a small J. Crew jacket, but finding the ones that are a little bit bigger, that's going to take some more time to find. But these actually sell a lot faster, and they sell for more money. This sold for $90, and it sold within, I think, like a month. So definitely be on the lookout for these longer J. Crew women's wool coats.
Wild Hair. This was a weird one. I remember when Christian bought this. It was new with tags. It was like a shooting, it says right there, shooting field jacket, the big leather patches. A lot of times when you see those on the shoulder, that's where they rest the butt of the gun, and so it sits right there. And then, anyway, that's why that's there like that. So if you see that, you might want to look it up, see what kind of style it is, if it is like a shooting kind of hunting style jacket. A lot of times these are like English brands as well, but this one sold for a lot, sold for 170, and I think you found that in a Goodwill. I think you found a Goodwill for like not even a lot, maybe $10 or something like that.
Not very much, yeah. It might have been 15.
Yeah. Anyway,
but it was weird. A tip on stuff like this: a lot of times, it's something that's such like a niche thing that there's like none on eBay. And when I listed this particular jacket, there was like no comps. So I basically just went online and found how much it cost new, and I was like, oh man, this thing's like $500 new, or however much it was. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was, I mean, a substantial amount of money. So I just said, well, I'll roll the dice on this for $15. It's got to be worth at least $100. So I listed it at, I think, 150, and it did sell pretty quickly. So maybe I even underpriced it, but it was definitely something that sold a lot faster. Oh, 170. Yeah, see, I listed it. Probably it might have sold for full price. Maybe I listed at 200. I don't know. I'm all over the place here.
It was a year ago.
I'm all over the place.
Hey,
but
positive feedback received.
But anyway, this shooting stuff, look up how much it actually costs in the store. And even if you can't find a comp, if you get it for a good price, pick it up and roll the dice.
How about eBay turning no feedbacks into positive feedbacks? We went from like 400 to 800 something in a day or two. It was funny. LL Bean suede coat. This is also we put hunting style barn coat. Kind of just threw a lot of stuff at the wall here because they're multifunctional. Sold in about a month again, $70. LL Bean.
We
Maybe
probably took an offer.
Probably
on
has
this.
some light wear to it. Also, we do take a lot of offers. So $70 for what we had to pay for. It's pretty good. Yeah. So if you have noticed a trend, down in leather seem to be doing pretty well. And wool.
And this is a Brooks Brothers wool, so kind of, excuse me, the higher end materials like you just said.
Second time you've done that.
See, I got burps. I don't know what's going on. But this is a good size as well. It's a size 2XL. It's wool. It's new without tags. Sold for $100. These Brooks Brothers wool. I don't even think it's made in Italy. Let's see. I don't believe. Yeah, it's not even.
What are you gonna see from that?
Well, it'll say on this tag.
I know, but you ain't gonna be able to see that.
But anyway, this thing sold for $100. If it was used, maybe 50, maybe 60. But these Brooks Brothers overcoats are actually pretty good, especially the thicker wool ones. They perform pretty well for us.
Another Lands' End. This one was not necessarily because of the brand, but more of the style. It kind of had that flannel lining.
Barn coat.
Also, it was a barn coat with a corduroy collar. And those are all things that last year was good keywords and were good keywords, and this year still are. So if you can get the barn coats, I don't even think it's necessarily brand specific. Obviously, if it's a better brand, that's going to help you out. But the mall brands, we've sold Zara, we've sold like Lands' End, we've sold higher end ones that sold for more money, but they all sell. I wouldn't pay a ton for a cheaper brand. Like I said, this one's $45. We'd probably pay around $10 for that. If not 15, if we're gonna flip it and make a $20 profit and sell quick, that's fine. But yeah,
the key thing with these barn jackets, chore coats, whatever, these things sell really fast. So you can kind of pay up for them because they're going to turn over quickly.
That's what I just said.
Nice.
Another one.
Speaking of barn chore coats, here's another one. This is an Abercrombie & Fitch one. I'm not going to go back into all the specifics with these. The barn jackets, chore coats are pretty good.
Ermenegildo Zegna. Oh, I remember when we bought these. I bought them, that's why I remember. They were the soft cashmere blend, so a higher material content for the Ermenegildo Zegna, not just a plain like wool. It was a cashmere. Sold for $85. I think we had to pay $10 for it, so take that all day. Zegna is still good.
Next is a Patagonia Goose Down coat. These do sell very.
Ooh, no duh.
No.
These do sell.
These do sell very quickly, but a lot of the times they are priced up pretty substantially. So you gotta kind of be careful. Don't get in over your head.
Click on that again.
This only sold for.
It looked like it has some wear.
Yeah.
So even for 65, yeah, it had some. A lot of the times they do come pretty used because people like them and they use them quite frequently. But
right,
you still get money for them.
But you can buy them and you can flip them quick, even if they have some wear. And sometimes they go. I mean, if that would have been in really good condition, it could have been well over $100.
Yeah, we've sold them with holes. We've sold them with big cuts in them, and they still sell. Now, not going to sell for a ton, but they'll still sell. This is a Fall Raven. It's a women's down jacket. We got this, I believe, see it says 72. We got it wholesale, so we had to pay a lot for it. We knew we were going to sell it for a lot, though. So we are comfortable paying up for things. $284, pretty good return on the investment, and it sold in about a month or two. So down, higher end brands, $285. Love it.
Tony actually bought this one. This is
I bought that.
vintage Shote peacoat.
How do you remember that?
Because I remember peeling the entire thing for 30 minutes.
It looks like I listed it.
It was me.
No.
It was back when I used this hanger. I'm telling you, I did it 100%.
I don't know.
Because I remember when I looked it up, it sold for a lot more than I thought. I was like, why did we buy this crappy old wool coat?
Yeah, you're welcome.
So,
you know, I did buy it. You're right.
And it was a women's size extra large, so it had a lot of stuff to where I thought this is something we shouldn't buy.
I'm a genius.
But not only did it sell for $90, but it sold, I mean, almost instantly. So be on the lookout for these coats. They are really good. Maybe don't buy one with a ton of pilling on it. That takes 5 hours.
Or maybe do. You never know.
But it is something that we did sell for a substantial amount last year.
Ralph Lauren coat, lamb's wool overcoat, made in Italy, all kinds of stuff going for
Italy
this one.
made.
Yeah, Italy made. That sounds fancier. $65. Maybe could have got a little more out of this, but it is a blend. It was probably cotton, lamb's wool, and cashmere. Maybe, I don't know. So we don't. If it says cotton,
if it would have just been Ralph Lauren, it would have been
that's
different.
true.
It would have been different.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a lower tier.
Yeah, I don't know. You look at that, and I think maybe more than 65, but 65 is fine. Like, we like to get rid of stuff. So 65, I think that's the bottom end that you can get out of this. Probably 65 to 100 if you want to wait a little bit.
Yeah, and this, I mean, something that's just very plain like this, obviously it's a more substantial piece, but, I mean, you got to think there's 1,000 of these things on there.
Michael Kors,
$36. This is going right along with the theme, guys. Down. I don't know how many times we have to say it. If it's a mall brand and it is down and there's no flaws, we're picking it up.
Not paying a lot for that, though.
No. Maybe at the most $10.
Another Ralph Lauren, quilted, good keyword, down, obviously.
Still has the good little barb.
Has the, faux fur collar, hood, that's good, $47.50. And it sold it took about 2 to 3 months, so not too bad.
I feel like some stores have been marketing this brand up more than they should for like outerwear. Ariat jacket, it's a size 2XL.
And it is Ariat, not Ariat.
Yes. If you follow a reseller that says Ariat, unfollow them because they don't know what they're talking about.
That's a bit extreme.
I'm not just kidding. Anyway, this thing sold for $45. This brand, the boots are pretty good. The jeans are pretty good. It's overall a pretty decent brand, but it's not. What are you laughing at?
I feel like you're just rambling.
Yeah, whatever. It's sold for $45.
Kind of like I rambled too.
Anyway, well, you're gonna get it once you keep going.
Orvis barn coat, another barn coat. So not a lot to say about that, but it.
Here we go. Why don't you ramble? Come on, let's hear something else
about it. Did sell for $55. So this is an example of more of a higher, like, outdoorsy brand. So it sold for a little bit more money.
You see these pockets here? That's the reason this word hunting is in the title. It has these big pockets that you could put like a gun or I'm assuming a gun. So should I say gun? Can we say gun? A weapon? No, that's probably worse. You could put something in it.
Let's go to the next one.
Next is a Lululemon new with tags jacket. I believe Tony bought this.
I did. I don't know if I would have bought it again.
Paid $50. Is that what you paid for it?
Yeah,
paid $50 for it. It sold for $125. So I would definitely buy it again. Why wouldn't you buy it again?
Because I had it listed higher, and it was a small size, and for a $50 put out to only get, like, I don't know. I mean, it took longer to sell than I wanted.
We made $50 on it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I'd buy it again. If you double your money like that, I'd buy this all day for $50. So
okay, sorry.
It was a good buy.
Thanks, but no thanks. I don't know. Another barn coat, Gander Mountain. So
super low tier.
More low tier than what you think. It was new without tags. Christian loves to put new without tags. I think it's his favorite thing in the world.
I think this had tags, actually.
But it is just another chore coat, barn coat situation.
Another J. Crew wool jacket. This sold for $50. It was a women's size 12. So the longer ones sell for more. This is more of a shorter stadium cloth one. But still, $50.
That Nello Gort, what is it? Nello what? That's the wool maker. So that's typically a higher end
Mellow
wool.
Gory.
So that is sometimes stuff you can put in the title. Like if it's Laura Piana, something similar. An LL Bean vintage coat that
Duffel coat.
appears to be wool, made in USA. So that's how you know it's the vintage. Got a $135 price tag on it. So it took a long time to sell, but something that we knew would sell eventually. And no, not a long time to sell at all.
Nope.
I saw 24.
Sold instantly.
Yeah, I saw 24 and I forgot what the video was. But yeah, sold really quickly and for a lot of money. So if you see that exact coat, buy it.
The duffel coats are the ones that have like it's got like a little wooden piece.
So
like
you can tell by half the coat being in the photo.
The whole coat is like this. Yeah, I'm sorry, you can't see the whole photo, but the whole coat has these little ties going all the way down it, and kind of like a duffel bag, hence duffel coat. All right, the last one of the coats we might go through some Poshmark coats just real quick, but this is the last eBay coat we have pulled up. We had a lot more, but this video would be 7 hours long if we did every single coat we sold in 2024. So this is a Florida State Seminoles jacket. We like sports team stuff. Florida State, I believe, was not even very good this year, and this still sold
in
for
2024.
Yeah,
yeah, they were.
And this still sold
in
for $57. Are they good this year?
So far,
that's what I thought. Yeah. Anyway, $57 for this. If you can buy it for a good price, definitely pick it up. I think it sold pretty quickly as well, if I remember correctly. Yeah, listed in November. I'm assuming it sold in November or December, sometime in Q4. But yeah, sports team stuff, pretty good. Let's go over to Poshmark and see if we can find any coats.
We're just going to go through these quick because we do have the 3 other categories to go through.
We got a raincoat.
A vintage Abercrombie herringbone tweed. What was that? One more up. The Ted Baker blazer, 143.
Well, that's in the next category.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Coats. We're looking just for coats real quick.
Oh, no, missed one.
What?
North Face jacket.
Barbour.
In Barbour. Yep. North Face kids jacket. Barbour. A lot of suits here. Vest. That's kind of like a Arc'teryx jacket for $238.
There's another North Face for $85. I've noticed that women's coats and jackets sell for more on Poshmark. It just depends. I mean, it's weird. You might list one and it never sell, and you might list one and it sell instantly for a full price ask. So,
LL Bean, Madewell, Columbia, North Face,
Theory.
Have you seen a trend of mall brand after mall brand after mall brand? That's our business, baby.
All right, now we're gonna move on to the next category.
The next category, sweaters. One of our best categories. This is a J. Crew cashmere.
The best time to wear
new with tags sweater, or is it new without tags? Can't tell.
I'm assuming new without tags.
Yeah, I think it's new without tags. Sold for $47.50. If this was new with tags, it would have been more, selling for more money, but $47.50. 100% cashmere. Always like to put knit if it's something like that. Good money in cashmere for sure, even in mall brands.
All right, next is a Polo Bear. So anytime you see a Polo Bear sweater, if there's no flaw, this is a sweatshirt. So sweaters and sweatshirts, it's definitely a pickup. This sold for $35 and it sold really quickly.
Lululemon, was just a hoodie, textured hoodie. And it's the better everyday hoodie, says right there. Always go to the size dots and they have like little numbers that you can type in and figure out what it is. And this one sold for $42 very quickly, about a month, maybe less.
We're going to try to go pretty quickly on this section because we quickly realize this video will be extremely long if we do not go quickly. So if we seem rushed, it's because we are. Next is an Unruly hoodie, but it is mohair. So anytime you see mohair on any item pretty much, I would definitely look it up because it's a very expensive fabric. This, I believe, was kind of hard to look up when I originally bought it, but I knew from experience selling, I think, Tom Ford mohair blazers that they were worth a ton of money. This sold for $114 and it sold pretty much instantly. Maybe I could have got even more for it. So definitely a good sale there.
You said we were gonna go fast, and that took you forever.
It was over $100. That's a good one.
It was an Ariat. Yep, Ariat sweater. Just
it was a lie. So you'd have hope.
Sweatshirt kind of hoodie as well. The rebar, the heather kind of jersey knit material sold for $33.25.
Next is a Lacoste women's sweater. So one of the rare women's items we bought. It is a crochet knit. So that's one of the reasons we picked it up. Sold for $33. That's like a generic sports cast.
A Vuori hoodie, full zip hoodie, sold for pretty good money. I think, what was it, $40. So Vuori, it's similar to Lululemon, where you're not going to get massive amounts for it in the normal everyday stuff. 40 is pretty good for a Vuori item.
All right, next is a vintage Izod Lacoste sweater. These sell for a little bit more than the actual regular ones, depending. I mean, obviously, if it's new, it sells for more than the vintage ones do. But this is a cashmere wool blend, sold for $38. It's one of the items that we almost always pick up.
Vineyard Vines cashmere knit pullover sweater, $36. Cashmere.
Reading the title.
Yeah, cashmere. You're normally, especially in a decent brand, mall brand like this, between $30 and $40 for 100% cashmere. I would say pretty much any brand.
All right, vintage Chaps Ralph Lauren sweater. Shetland wool is what's driving this one home. It's why it sold for a little bit more. It looks a little ratty in the photos because it's old and vintage, but sold for $33.25.
Plus, Shetland wool kind of looks like that anyway.
That's a fair point.
Brand here is 1620. It's a workwear brand similar to Carhartt, but almost a little bit more performance-y feel. Sold for $55.
And this is a brand we've only found once, but
I found it.
It's a really quick seller. I think it sold pretty much instantly, so it was a good find. Oh, this was returned. Oh, we'll skip past that one. All right, next is a PXG sweater. This sold really quickly. Actually, it's not a sweater; it's a pullover, so that's a little misleading. Anyway, PXG is a good brand. This is not a sweater or a
it's a golf
sweatshirt.
brand. PXG is a golf brand.
Yeah.
J. Hilburn, 100%. Oh, wait a minute. It's not 100% cashmere. It's just cashmere. I mean, it doesn't really say. Normally, we put 100% cashmere. It doesn't say blend, though, so I think it probably is 100% cashmere. Has a cable knit, a small cable knit. Cable knit. It's still a good keyword. And
we normally buy J. Hilburn suits. It's what they're more known for, kind of like custom bespoke suits. But anything cashmere,
just cut me off.
Picking it up.
Right in the middle. I didn't even say what it sold for. $39.90. Cable knit's good.
You can do this one then.
No, go ahead.
Because I can't say this word.
I can't say it either.
Fashionable sweater.
Sounds like fashionable.
It was new with tags, sold for $55. This brand, we do not always pick it up, but if it's new with tags and it's a good size, we're going to pick it up.
Peter Millar, 100% merino wool, $38. Could we get that now? Maybe. I don't know. It's Peter Millar, probably in that $30 to $40 range for a wool or cashmere. Cashmere probably a little bit more, but yeah, pretty good.
Cashmere definitely more.
Not a lot though.
Arc'teryx sweater. This is obviously
I bought this too.
A good brand. Sold for $76, and all this Arc'teryx stuff sells pretty much instantly.
Duluth Trading, another Shetland wool. This one was new with tags. I remember also buying this. No big deal again. Sold for what was that? 82.
One might say you're full of Shetland wool.
Good one. 8208. Pretty good pickup. That one took a while to sell, but.
Oh, speaking of stuff Tony found.
Another thing I found.
Here's a Peter Millar Scotty Cameron. This logo here tells you Scotty Cameron. Sometimes you'll see it on the neck. Sometimes you'll see it on the shoulder. But this logo is going to give you some big money. Sold for $125 pretty much instantly. And Tony found it, if you couldn't tell by him rubbing his face.
New York Jets on-field apparel. This is more like a jacket.
Why is this in a sweater?
Pullover jacket, and it is selling for the on-field apparel as well, $31.35.
That's my bad. I don't know why I pulled that up. Next is a Grayson hoodie, sweatshirt sweater. We kind of have them in the same category. This sold for $40. Grayson's a good golf brand.
Well, that one specifically was a little different because, yeah, it says the match. That was where.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, the match is where Tiger and I believe Phil Mickelson.
Rory McIlroy.
Was it Rory? Yeah, you're right. Tiger and Rory went up against Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth in some match for, I don't even know what it was. They used to do it. But it was not in good shape either. The hoodie wasn't. but still sold for $40 because of the thing right there. This was also a return.
Oh, returned. Okay. FootJoy cashmere sweater sold for $32. It actually sold really quickly, and I believe it had a hole in it. So, FootJoy cashmere. FootJoy is another golf brand. It's kind of hard to find cashmere stuff, but it's definitely good.
Lily Pulitzer open cardigan that was 100% cashmere.
Very pink.
Decent size, medium. Lily Pulitzer, you really want it to be at least a large and up. Normally, medium's okay, but it normally sells a lot faster the bigger the size. $50, pretty good pickup for that nice pink sweater there.
Brooks Brothers 3-ply cashmere. Now, the 3-ply cashmere sells for more in Brooks Brothers.
What does it mean?
That means there's 3 plies of cashmere. So it's
like
thrice as thick.
It's like your toilet paper.
That's hard to say. Very thick. Sold for $70, and it sold quickly at that price. I believe there was no flaws with this either, which is definitely helping the case.
We got positive feedback, so probably.
So yeah, it was a pretty nice find. Hard to find that in that condition.
This is the Built BYLT Elite Fairway drop cut pullover. This sold for 40, I think 40, is that right?
Yeah, 40.
Sold very quickly too. Built, the t-shirts, not that great anymore, but the pants and the shorts and this
Hoodies,
kind of stuff
pullovers
do better.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have a higher chance of finding the t-shirts.
G4 wool pullover. Now this used to sell for quite a bit more a couple years ago, but now they've kind of come down just a little bit. Sold for $35. I believe it had a hole as well, maybe like a small little hole. But yeah, G4 is, I mean, generally speaking, a pretty good golf brand to pick up, especially if it's a higher end material like wool, cashmere, silk, stuff like that.
Cool merino wool, KUHL, 100% merino wool. Sold for, what was it? I didn't see. 29?
20 something.
$25 basically. Probably had a little bit of a flaw, I would assume, with that low price. Normally I would think in the 30s for something like that, but still good brand.
Next is a, why do I get the hard names? Next is a
Carragigdon or something.
Carragigdon crew neck
something
sweater.
Scottish, you should know.
I didn't go to college like Tony, so you should know.
It's Scottish or whatever. At least Irish.
Oh, okay.
Ireland, yeah, Irish. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, my daughter has red hair.
To be determined.
Peyton.
My daughter had brown hair when she was born. Now it's blonde, so.
She never had brown hair.
Yeah, she did. Go back. Look. Roll the tape.
Nuts.
It was brown, I'm telling you. This sold for $71.25, and it sold really quickly. Maybe we could have even got some more out of this, but we had to get through it quick.
Marine layer sweater. Not a lot to say about this. $40. They were refunded. I don't know why.
Probably was a hole or something we didn't disclose.
Probably. I don't know.
Marine layers pretty. They have higher end materials in some of their clothes, and they seem to do a little bit better. Next is a LL Bean women's sweater, but it has like that Fair Isle pattern to it, and it is also a wool blend. So that's going to help it out, especially having the wool. Sold for $40, and it sold really quickly.
Smart Wool. Everybody knows Smart Wool and their little mascot named Nitwit. If you didn't know that, there you go. This sold for $40 as well. Smart Wool, I feel like it has a reputation of selling for a ton, and then you look it up and it doesn't sell for an amazing amount, but more that mid 40-ish to 50-ish. If it's something really cool, maybe a little bit higher, but typically that's the range, I feel like.
Yeah, it's not as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
Not even close, really. It used to be it would sell instantly for a really high price. Now it's like, give it a couple of months. Next is a vintage J. Crew. I believe it's a wool sweater. These vintage J. Crew sweaters can go for a ton of money. I think we might have actually sold ourselves short on this sweater. It probably could have gotten more money out of it, but it sold for $50, and it sold really quickly because it was priced probably too low. So let me know what you would have priced this for. If 50 is way too low, comment, and we'll try to, if we find any more, we'll price them a little higher. And that is it for the sweaters. If you want us to do a deep dive on any of these categories, instead of having them like all in one video where we really break it down, what brands, what materials, and all of that good stuff, comment, and we'll consider doing a video like that. But for now, we're going to move on to the next category and get into pants and jeans. We are to the pants and jeans. Now, this video could be a lot longer. Like I said, if we did a deep dive on these pants, it would take forever. So if you want a deep dive on specifically pants and jeans, comment below. But we're going to get into just...
Well, like you said, it was $150,000 on just eBay in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things to look through, and we could have made this
endlessly long.
Longest what sold the face of the earth. But.
Yeah. Plus, that would be very boring. So this is just like a quick selection of stuff that we think maybe you don't know what it is. Maybe it's a good bread and butter find that you're going to be able to find when you're out there shopping in Q4. So hopefully it helps you out a little bit, but we'll get right into it instead of just talking about getting into it, which is obviously what I'm doing now.
Go.
Here's an Eddie Bauer pair of women's First Ascent hiking pants. This little symbol here is the symbol for the First Ascent. These actually aren't even in the greatest condition, and they sold for $30. So definitely be on the lookout for these First Ascent in men's and women's.
Lauren Ralph Lauren linen pants. Not something you expect to sell in the
winter months?
Basically winter months in the October fallish. So it's
fall,
nice that it sold still. I mean, the warm parts of fall, maybe the beginning of October, but anyway, it sold for $40.
All right, next. Well, go fast. Faraday pants, new tags. Faraday pants are good. Just kidding. Faraday's a really good brand. Obviously, new tags is why they sold for so much. Sold for $75. If it was used, maybe $30, $40.
Not a bad idea to stock up on some new tags, even if you got to pay up a little bit. Yeah. People buy them a lot for gifts, obviously. So, not saying do it, not saying not. You know, it depends on your philosophy. But we like to pick up some new stuff. Woolly pants. These are merino wool, $39. Did not take a long time to sell. About a month, maybe less.
Yeah, any merino wool pant is probably going to be a buy. I'd say 9 times out of 10 it's a buy. Talbots, new with tags, plus size wool. That's why we picked these up. They are women's, obviously, because they're Talbots. These did sell pretty quickly for $30.
Talbot sells men's.
No.
Yeah, we've sold them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They say Talbot's men's.
Wow.
J. Peterman corduroy pants.
A little bit of a fading there.
Yeah, well, still sold for $28. That's probably because of the fading, but sold quick.
J. Peterman's a pretty good brand. They have some really high-end stuff, too. Coogi jeans. Now, these normally have like big, bright patterns on the back. They actually aren't that great, nowhere near as good as the sweaters, but they will sell between $25 and $35. These sold for $30, and they sold pretty quick.
Right in between. These are Roan commuter pants, $35. Don't know if you're getting $35 for them now. Still better than like the tops and stuff, but yeah, probably around $30, I would say nowadays.
These are a pair of Gap vintage cargo pants, and they are also wool. So actually, they're a wool blend.
Why'd you say vintage?
They're vintage.
They don't say vintage.
They should say vintage. I'm pretty sure they're vintage. Does not say vintage, so I'm not sure what happened there. But these sold for $28. The Gap cargo pants, and pretty much any cargo pant is going to perform pretty well.
Patagonia pants, waterproof, not 100% nylon. The Torrenton shell almost looks like tortoise shell. $57 for a used pair of pants. You can't beat that.
This one says vintage, so I'm good here. Vintage Banana Republic leather pants. We like to really stock up on leather pants if we see them during these cold months. Why is that funny?
It sounds funny.
If we see leather pants and they're a decent brand, we like to buy them because they do normally sell pretty well in the winter months. This sold for $38, and it sold pretty quickly at that price. Run and
Fly. Don't know if I found these pants again, or
I think I've seen
them again. Well, I meant like us in general, but
yeah.
Paisley got the boot cut looking flare. I mean, sold for $38 and sold quick. So
yeah.
Granted, we don't look in the women's section. Oh, they're men's.
They're men's. Yeah.
Ew. Who's wearing that?
Oh no, these are men's. That's like a thing. That's like their whole thing is this kind of pattern and crazy designs.
I wouldn't wear them.
They sold really quickly, like instantly. It's a really good brand. Johnny O pants. These sold for $35. They are a newer style, and they're the 5-pocket, which is really popular. That's why they sold for a little bit of a premium, $35. But Definitely be on the lookout for Johnny O pants, the performance pants, the 5-pocket pants. They're all pretty good.
Polo, these were interesting. Kind of have that, I don't even know what pattern
Plaid.
that is. Kind of like a plaid check. Cashmere blend, woolen cashmere blend, made in Italy. New, had some tags up there. Sold for $123.50. So
Nice.
maybe you should buy more of those.
A pair of Brunt pants. Brunt's a pretty good brand. I think this sold really quickly, actually. Sold for $35. And they are basically just like a workwear brand, kind of similar to
Is that
Carhartt.
the Boots brand? Brunt Boots.
I
You know
believe
what I'm
so.
talking
I
about?
think so.
RM Williams, $38. We sell RM Williams shirts. Sold they're kind of like a westerny dress up cowboy kind of a thing. So yeah, they got
The dress up Cowboys.
nice stuff. $38.
Not like the Dallas Cowboys. Boo. RLX
You act like
joggers.
you watch football.
I know I don't like the Cowboys. RLX joggers. So the RLX joggers are actually really good. RLX pants are good as well. Polos are okay, depending on what it is. These sold for $35.15, and they sold quickly. Yeah, I burped again.
Halibros workwear. They have the flat pockets.
Double knee. Oh, that's not double knee.
No, they're not really double knee. There's
Yeah.
just the kind of pants they were, and they sold for $38. Halibros, still pretty good. I mean, most of their stuff's right around in that $30 to $40 range, I would say.
Eddie Bauer First Ascent pants. These are new with tags, and these only sold for $32. So as you can tell, the women's pants that sold for $30 were a little bit of an outlier. You're not going to get that 9 times out of 10. You'll probably get around 20.
Diesel jeans. Love us some diesel jeans.
Baba.
These appear to got refunded for some reason. Not 100% sure. But $35. That's right around the price range for diesel, between $30 and $40 safely. Sometimes you can list them a little higher, 45, 50, and somebody will pay that. But offer-wise, we try to take between $30 and $40 for them.
All right, what we got here? Public Rec pants. These sold for $37. We have a bunch of these. Public Rec. I honestly think these are a little big for Public Rec. You want them to be in a little bit of a smaller size. But if you see them, pretty much always pick them up. They're going to sell eventually.
Dockers, classic Dockers. Just the ones you
Dockies.
buy at Kohl's. We sold them new tax for $23.75. We never pay more than $5 for these. So
No, because
that's the
sometimes
most we pay.
they take a while to sell. Sometimes they sell fast, but
And only new. We never buy them used. Used is like you're never gonna sell it.
List it and then pray that it
Yeah,
sells.
you're never gonna sell it. You can't even
You ain't never gonna sell.
hit water in a boat if you're throwing Dockers in. I don't know.
Dude, you were really stretching that Dockers out. Next is a pair of Ariat jeans. They are the Rebar M4s, a really popular style of these Ariat jeans. This sold for $28, and they used to be able to get a little bit more for those, but I'd say they're around the $30 price range pretty consistently.
Another pair of Roan commuters, $33. Same thing as the other ones. Very performance kind of athletic style.
All right, Polo Ralph Lauren pants. These sold. This is just like a bread and butter that you're going to be able to find at most places. Sold for $20, and they sold pretty quickly. You got to be careful with that brand because, as we've said in other videos, it's very saturated. So if you get an offer, take it.
Peter Millar, just 100% cotton pair. A lot of people tell you not to pick up Peter Millar if it's cotton.
We sell it for $23.
$23, picking it up, not paying a bunch for it. I know it says $14.43. That was the cost average. I only paid probably around $5 for this, and it still sold for $23. So we're not ashamed to take a $10 to $15 profit for an item.
Next is a pretty common brand, but an uncommon style. It's a pair of Nike joggers. It has this cool, like, I don't even know. It says kelp, so I guess that's the pattern for this is kelp. But I found that the Nike cargo joggers, so if it has a cargo pocket, kind of like this, they sell a lot faster and they sell for a little bit more money.
Sorry. Brooks Brothers pants that are 100% wool. Just classic Brooks Brothers, $28.
Very bread and butter. Next is a non-bread and butter. Arc'teryx sold for $76, pretty much instantly. Definitely a good brand.
Vintage Tommy H. Got the cool, they don't really do this anymore, but they got the logo running down on a pipeline, not like a pipe, but like, you know. Anyway, what did that say it sold for? That was not even funny.
Just running down.
$30.
Just running down on a pipe.
Y2K. $30.
Oh, I look like a cherry. Look how red I am. Next is a 689 Anything pant. This is a pretty good brand. They have like ski jackets, stuff like that.
Every time you do something, you always say it's a pretty good brand.
It's actually a really good brand, I should say. You'll find this brand at a super high premium if it's a down jacket, anything like that. Sold for $39, and it sold really quickly. I think we found a couple of the same style in 2024, and they were all really good performers.
We don't drink, but if we started a drinking game, it would be every time one of us says, that's a
Pretty
pretty
good
good brand,
yeah.
take a drink.
What about the smoking? I'm not the pipe.
Smoking?
Like, I don't know. Smoking the pipe.
Mizzen Maine pants that are new with tags. It's a pretty good brand.
Why are you laughing?
Sold for $55. It's a wool blend. Mizzen Maine's good.
Reigning Champ sweatpants. I don't think this would sell for this much in 2025. That's just my opinion. I've not looked it up, but $47.50 for a pair of sweatpants is really high. But they did sell, and they sold. Reigning Champ sweatpants sold for $47.50. Definitely a good buy.
You notice eBay started doing order deliver notifications? That's stupid. African American College Alliance. Sold for $47.50. If you see those, pick them up.
They actually sold super fast too. Next is another pair of Johnny O. We just talked about those. This
pretty
is
good brand.
A little older. It's a pretty good brand. Pretty solid. Sold for $25. And that is the end of the pants and jeans. We could have included way more jeans, but I would say like 95% of the jeans we buy are very bread and butter. There's the obvious outliers, but we wanted to make sure this video is not too long, so that's why we're going to cut it off here and move to suits and blazers. All right, coming into the final category, the suits and blazers category. This is one of the categories that we were very fortunate and found a lot of new with tag items that sold for a lot of money. All these prices we're going to give, if it's a new with tag item, pretty much cut it in half, and that's probably what you would get for it if it were to be used. But we found them new with tags, so it is possible to find them new with tags. Just I would say we were very blessed and lucky to find them, because it is not one of those things that's just falling off the shelf.
And they were at a thrift store.
Yes.
So,
all right, first up we have a Veronica Beard blazer. This actually had a lot of pilling when I originally bought it. I think I paid maybe $10 for it because it was in such bad shape, but it actually shaved off really well, and we ended up selling it for $152. We mainly sell men's clothing, so Veronica Beard is one of those women's brands that even we know, and that is always a really good performer. And no matter what it is, Veronica Beard for us has sold quickly and has sold for a very large premium.
Holland and Sherry suit, 2-piece, worsted wool. I remember when we first started reselling, I remember somebody talking about worsted wool, and I was like, I couldn't remember that to save my life. And I know there's a certain kind of wool that's supposed to be better than the rest, and that was the word I would always try to remember. So worsted wool does perform a little bit better. $57 for this 2-piece suit. Holland and Sherry.
Next is a Donald J. Trump suit. We've actually found that the Trump stuff sells very well. This is a 2-piece suit. It sold for $52, so not a crazy price for a suit, but this stuff sells really quickly. That's the thing with this Trump stuff. It might not sell for crazy money, but it does sell quickly, so that's why we like to pick it up.
Love him or hate him.
He makes a mean suit.
Hickey Freeman blazer, another worsted wool, and this one's by the Loro Piana. And this one's also a what? Say it with me.
New. What?
Without tags.
Yeah, this one, it was definitely without tags on this one.
This is a $95 sale.
All right, next is a Hart Schaffner Marks. This brand is very we pick it up very selectively. It has to be a relatively newer looking, so 'cause you can find a suit that's Hart Schaffner marks that is like literally 80 years old. So maybe not literally 80, but it just looks super, super old. We do not pick up the stuff that looks really old. We try to buy the stuff that's a newer style. But this is two-piece suit, sold for $47.50. And yeah, it's one of those things that if we find it in good condition, we normally pick it up.
Brooks Brother, let's see, just a wool two-piece suit from, it has the Strato Italy, so that probably is the wool maker if I had to guess. It's the Madison fit.
It is, yeah.
Yep, and that normally Italy made. If it has the wool maker, if it is a specific type like the Madison fit, the 1818 Madison fit, normally does well. $90 two-piece suit, so can't beat that. I mean, I guess you can beat it, but
could be 100. Next, or 115, like this one. This is a J. Crew Loro Piana. So anytime you see Loro Piana, you got to be careful because I've found a bunch of stuff recently that I see Loro Piana and I get excited and then I look at it and it has flaws. So even if it has flaws, you can't pick it up if it's Loro Piana. But this sold for $115 and it sold really quickly. We love to buy pretty much anything Loro Piana in good shape.
Another Brooks Brothers. This was a custom fit two-piece suit. See, this one, it's not made in Italy, and it doesn't have the wool maker, so
A little less.
sold for less, $60.80. But go back. Let me see that pattern. Does it have a pattern? No. Not really. No. But just for a tip,
very basic.
If the blazer or the pants itself have like pinstripes or some check pattern or something, and you don't have the other piece of the suit with it, normally try to stay away from that just because it's harder to sell without its mate.
Without its mate. We sold a bunch of these. This is like one of the newer with
This
tags.
is where we're getting into the ridiculous that you're not going to find a ton of, but if you do, good for you.
Yeah, we paid up quite a bit for these. Sold for $360. We sold some for, 400, some for 500. We had quite a few of these suits.
Oh, you'll see them.
But these Canali suits, any Canali suit, if you have a two-piece suit, it's going to command a premium. You're going to get over $100 for it if you have the blazer and the pants matching.
Another one. No, it's Saks Fifth Avenue or Minigieldo Zegna. So not 100% sure why it has both brands. I think and then the Zegna is the fabric's made by Zegna, and it's the two-piece suit. So this is a good example of it being pinstriped, where if it was just the blazer, we might not have picked it up just because that's harder to sell. Yeah. Now together, way easier to sell because obviously they match.
And you might think that any Ermenegildo Zegna is going to be good. Like you said, like just the blazer, if you find the pinstripe, it'll never sell.
Yeah, $95 for the pair together. Yep.
It's insane. I remember when we first started reselling, I'd be like, oh yes, but now, nope. Bonobos suit, so this sold for $97. These Bonobos suits actually perform really well, especially if you have the matching set. They sell really quickly and for a decent amount of money. So $97 on that. It's good.
Joseph A. Bank two-piece suit.
We got a match, Captain.
See, it's something that not a lot of people are picking up, but if it's a newer style two-piece suit like this, $50 is not unattainable for a suit like this.
All right, moving right along. Another Canali suit. This one sold for $520. Like I said, some sold for $360, some sold for.
I think the reason Christian did this whole bit segment is just to talk about his suits he bought again. Vineyard Vines.
On
the go blazer, so more of a performance style, sold for $80. This one was, I believe, also new without tags.
See,
as you can see, Christian listed it.
Next, we have an Armani blazer. This sold for $200. It was, however, new with tags. It was their G line, and it was a wool, silk, and linen blend. A lot of things going for this. Could have actually probably sold it for more, but we like to just move things along. So that's a pretty good pickup there.
And then from Armani to Stafford.
A little bit of a drop-off.
Camel hair, new with tags. Even though it's new, it's not going to sell for a ton. Stafford, I'd say between 30 and 50. I'd list it up around 48 to 50 if it's new, and then take an offer like 35 if they make it. So
Okay, Jack Victor. This is a used one, so I didn't grab one of my crazy ones. Sold for $55. Jack Victor is actually a pretty good brand. I think I almost always pick it up. It's never really priced up, so.
Not one of your... This one's more of a normal brand, I guess. Tom Ford Mohair Wool Blend Silk Lined. So it's got the wool on the outside, silk on the line, and the lining, and it was mohair wool. So very expensive, as we talked about with that other one. And like, what was it? Was that the sweaters? Yeah.
Yeah,
and
it
the
was a
sweaters.
sweater.
This one sold for $500. Was it new with tags? I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, new with tags. Honestly, probably could have got more, as you'll see in the next couple, because there's like an identical one coming up that sold similar for more money. But we just took the offer.
We had a lot invested in it.
We had a lot invested in it, and these high designer brands like this, we like to move them on as fast as we can, just because
we don't want the brands.
You don't want the brands coming after you. Now I know they can come after you after they're sold if they're still on there, blah blah blah. But to play it safe, we just like to get rid of stuff like that.
Next is a Xenia Cashmere Silk Blend Blazer. Very similar to the other one we showed, the brown one.
The other one was more like a knit. It felt more like a sweater than a blazer. Yeah, this one more like a blazer.
It looks more like a blazer. Anyway, yeah, definitely. Xenia is very good. Speaking of Xenia.
Now let me guess.
I bought this new as well.
$242.
Paid $100 though, so we're not making as much on this one.
Yeah, so we're
making $80.
Yeah, but they sold very quickly. So
Buck Mason, this is new without tags as well. I'm sure I did it because I know.
No, I did it.
Yeah.
I remember doing these
interesting.
because I knew they were new without tags because I bought them, and that's how it goes.
$97.
Another drinking game, even though we don't drink, is how many times do we say new without tags?
Speaking of Buck Mason,
another Buck Mason. This one's not new without tag. This one's just normal, and
$100.
It sold for $100 too. So new without tags doesn't necessarily add a ton of value, I would say, a lot of the times, especially with a high-end premium brand like Buck Mason. The used and the new without tags are fairly similar. Like this one, I think the other one sold for like $100 too. Right?
97, yeah, $3 difference.
It doesn't make a huge difference in a high-end brand. If it's not, if it's more like a mall brand, it'll make a little bit of difference. But yeah.
Tom Ford Blazer sold for $720.
If you see Tom Ford, pick it up is the basic.
That was a good one.
J. Hilburn. This was a new one. So J. Hilburn, you're gonna look for it, and you're gonna buy it, and you're gonna look for the size, and you're not gonna find it because most of their stuff is custom. So they do not have sizes. It's based off of the person's measurements when they send them in. But so you have to take.
Had cashmere.
Yeah,
nice.
You have to take the measurements and put it down. So this one was like right around 25 across the chest. So that's a 50 chest, and then the back of the blazer and where the sleeves landed, we determined it was a regular size. So 50 regular for this. This one is a little different because it does have a weird pattern.
But it's plaid.
But it's like a plaid, new with tags, more newer style.
Wear white pants or something.
A lot of people, would probably wear white or, khaki and stuff. You can wear it's more like a traditional.
Pinstripes are the ones that are just the worst.
Pinstripes are tough, yeah. But this one sold for $120, and it sold quickly. There's an ant on the table.
Kill it. Get out of here. Next is a Circle S blazer. Very Western. I can't think of another word to describe it other than a Western. But,
cowboy.
Western cowboy, all that good stuff.
Country boy.
Sold for $42, and that's about all you're going to get out of these. If you find a two-piece suit, you get a little bit more, but it's not a crazy brand.
Linen blend. So it almost looks like denim.
Yeah, it does.
But it's a linen blend, kind of cooler. Banana Republic, they used to be a safari brand. That was like their whole thing.
There used to be a magazine.
Yeah. I
knew that, yeah.
$38.
Next, what we got? Bugatti. So this is a Bugatti blazer. Oh, this looks more like a jacket.
Yeah.
It's like a jacket blazer. This sold for $40. Anytime you see wool and silk.
And Bugatti.
Or pretty much wool silk with any brand that's a mall brand, it's going to be something you want to look up because it could command a premium. Oh, this was refunded.
What is it?
I don't know.
It's a jab.
Oh, so just a
So it sold, it didn't fit, and then it got returned. So I'm sure it sold again, but originally it sold for right around 30, looks like around 30 bucks. So it kind of fits with the other one where
Bread and
Joseph
butter.
A. Bank is a bread and butter that's going to sell between like 30 and 40 bucks for
And
the
it was
most part.
silk.
Yeah.
It was silk, which
Yeah.
is why I brought it
Joseph
up.
A. Bank, we normally buy more higher end, not a lot, just the plain wool. Sometimes not really, unless it's new. But if it's silk, cashmere, sometimes they do some higher end materials like that. So linen too.
All right, guys, that's all we have for this video. Hopefully you are more prepared for Q4 and you learned some brands. Maybe you learned some stuff to pick up. Thank you again for the 14,000 subscribers. It means the world to us, guys. Can't believe we're here. If you'd have told me this a year ago, we'd be at 14,000 subscribers, I would not believe you. So can't thank you enough. Appreciate every single one of you for commenting on our videos and for supporting the channel.
Also, if you haven't heard about Nifty.AI, it's the software program we use for all of our cross-listing, all of our auto delist and relist, our recreates, and
our sharing on Poshmark,
our AI software to help make listing way quicker. It does all that kind of stuff.
Title, you got your
item
attributes,
specifics,
everything.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard about it, we have a little mini course you can check out to kind of test it out, see if it's something you might want to do. And if you do want to give it a free trial, go ahead and use code RESELLBROS for 15% off. Best on the internet, and we think it will change your business. And
it also supports the channel.
Yeah, it does
support
the channel. So you can go through and look at all the comments we've gotten about how Nifty has changed their business and really helped them out, and they love it. So thank you guys, we appreciate it. We'll see you in the next video. Hopefully we get back to making weekly content now that we're adjusting to the family of 4
The
life.
babies.
Yeah,
The babies.
peace out.
Get me out of here.